Sun Tzu's The Art of War is one of the most influential books on war and leadership ever written. It's been a favorite of everyone from Emperor Napoleon in Paris to Paris Hilton in California. The author encourages us to know our enemy, and that's really good advice in connection to North Korea and its leader, Kim Jong-un, as the threat of war between them and the United States continues to dominate our thoughts. Today we're looking at 10 more crazy facts about North Korea, and if you haven't seen our first video on the subject, check it out here, and subscribe to our channel now so that you'll always be in the know on the issues of the day. The 2,500-year-old book, The Art of War, was originally written to cover 13 aspects of military conflict, but today these principles have been applied to everything from business to election campaigns and even to professional sports. It therefore seemed appropriate to look at some of the philosophy behind The Art of War, as the man who wrote The Art of the Deal, President Donald Trump, considers the possibilities of military conflict with North Korea. Pyongyang potheads. Marijuana is completely legal in North Korea. That actually explains a lot. In fact, it's not even considered a drug in the secretive dictatorship. The Huffington Post reported that defectors, visitors, and experts have all testified North Korea either has no law against the sale and consumption of weed, or it has a law that's almost completely ignored. North Korea News receives regular reports from visitors returning from North Korea who tell of marijuana plants growing freely along the roadsides from the northern port town of Chongjin right down to the streets of Pyongyang, where it is smoked freely. The defecting dolts. 4 American soldiers defected to North Korea in 1962, and they've lived there ever since. In August '62, James Dresnock first stepped into the minefield at the demilitarized zone and crossed over to North Korea, and eventually he was joined by Larry Allen Abshir, Jerry Parrish, and Charles Robert Jenkins. The men lived together and participated in several propaganda efforts on behalf of the North Korean government. But in 1966, they tried to leave North Korea by seeking asylum at the Soviet embassy in Pyongyang, but they were sent back. Eventually, they decided to settle down. Some even got married and had kids, including Dresnock, whose son is a captain in the North Korean army. Today, he remains the last living defector of that period. What a disgrace. Pueblo propaganda. North Korea is the world's only nation to currently have captured a U.S. Navy ship. On January 23, 1968, in international waters, more than 15 miles from North Korea, the USS Pueblo, an electronic intelligence ship, was surrounded by subchasers, torpedo boats, with MiG jets overhead. The sailors on the Pueblo were rounded up and put in prison camps. The crew endured starvation and torture for nearly a year, and eventually the North Korean government decided to release all the crew members. The Pueblo is still held by North Korea, and it remains the second oldest commissioned ship in the U.S. Navy. Super Stadium. North Korea has the world's largest soccer stadium, the Mayday Stadium, a colossal structure built in 1989, remodeled in 2014, that seats 150,000 people. It's the largest stadium by capacity in the world. While it hosts some soccer matches and general athletic competitions, Mayday's grandest and most elaborate events are the annual mass games, known in Korea as Arirang. And on January 13, 2004, The Telegraph reported that at the end of the 1990s, a plan hatched by a number of Korean army generals was uncovered, and the conspirators were arrested to assassinate Kim Il-sung. After they were interrogated, the generals were executed in the May Day Stadium. Petrol was poured over them and set alight, burning them alive. And I'm sorry, is it just me, or does this look like a bun cake? Economic expectation. How bad is the North Korean economy? In 2017, Forbes again named Microsoft founder Bill Gates the #1 richest man on earth with a staggering $86 billion fortune. In 2011, the most recent year that North Korea released figures, and before they were hit by a massive sanctions of late, their gross domestic product was $12 billion. So as you can see from the chart, each of the two billionaires, Bezos or Gates, made 7 times more than the entire country of North Korea and its 25 million inhabitants. The state of Vermont, with only 624,000 people, had a GDP of $31 billion, the smallest state by GDP in the US. That's nearly 103 times more than North Korea. And the capital of South Korea made $1 trillion in GDP, which is over 86 times more than an individual North Korean would make. Unicorn unmasked. The Telegraph reported in November 2012, North Korean archaeologists claimed to discover a mythical unicorn lair belonging to King Tongmyong, founder of the ancient Korean kingdom. The announcement was made by the History Institute of the DPRK Academy of Social Sciences, which reported that the lair was found 220 yards from a temple in Pyongyang. A rectangular rock carved with words "Unicorn Lair" stands in front of the lair. The carved words are believed to date back to the period of Koro Kingdom, 918 to 1392, the report said. The temple served as a relief palace for King Tongmyong, in which there is the lair of his unicorns. Hopeless Hotel. Hopeful Hotel? In 1987, as an attempt to boost tourism, North Korean founder Kim Il-sung broke ground on the 105-story, 3,000-room Remyung Hotel. Intended to be the world's tallest hotel, the outer shell was barely completed in 1992 when the Soviet Union fell and an economic recession began. The now largest abandoned building in the world sat with no windows, fixtures, or furniture for over 14 years, though Japanese media estimated the cost to date at over $750 million, which is about 2% of the country's GDP. The European Union Chamber of Commerce once declared it absolutely irreparable, but in 2011 it was quoted in $180 million in new glass panes, and the Daily Mail has reported in December 2016 that Kim Jong-un had ordered the construction to be finally completed, which is going ahead now. Maybe grandson will see the tourist boom that grandfather could never attain. Communism cleanup. North Korea is officially not communist anymore. In fact, in 2009, references to communism were removed from the country's constitution, and Juche became the official state ideology, replacing Marxism-Leninism when the country adopted a new constitution in 1972. Created by Kim Il-sung, it states that the Korean masses are the masters of the country's development with an emphasis on political, economic, and defensive social sustainability. In other words, they just gave communism a makeover and renamed it something that few people can spell and nobody can pronounce properly. Good call. Time travelers. It's not 2017 in North Korea. The year is actually 105. The Juche calendar was introduced in 1997 and is based on Kim Il-sung's date of birth, April 15th, 1912. That year was referred as Juche 1, and the system works forward from there. While it maintains the Gregorian calendar's traditional months and the number of days in a month, in many instances of non-Korean usage, the Juche year is given after the corresponding Gregorian year. In other words, 12th of June 2017, in brackets, Juche 96. However, most official DPRK Korean sources list the Gregorian year second, as in 12 June Juche 96, bracket 2007. I hope that you're able to follow that. Nobody else on Earth is. All in the family. It's no secret that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un was not his father's first choice to succeed him. And while his mother was the late dictator's lifelong love, she wasn't his wife, but one of two mistresses he had. However, Kim Jong-il favored her, which is likely the reason Kim Jong-un is in this position today. As out of a total of 4 boys and 3 girls, from 3 different women, Kim Jong-un is second youngest overall, and the youngest of the 4 boys. Kim Jong-nam was born in 1971, the eldest son of Kim Jong-il, and until 2001 he was the heir apparent, but he embarrassed the family with a failed attempt to visit Tokyo Disneyland in 2001 with a false passport. He was exiled from North Korea in 2003, and he became a critic of his famous family, a poor decision. On February 13th, 2017, 2 women attacked him at the Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia airport with a chemical nerve agent, killing him. The women said they were tricked into thinking they were playing a harmless prank for a hidden camera TV show. Kim Jong-chul, the middle boy in the Kim home, in 2007, was appointed deputy chief of a leadership division of the Workers' Party of Korea. However, Kim Jong-il thought that he was no good because he's like a little girl. Yes, Jong-chul is reportedly gay. He's also apparently an Eric Clapton fan, as he's only been seen in public 3 times in the last 8 years, and all of them were at Eric Clapton concerts. He's rumored to have had his uncle arrested and executed earlier this year, as ordered by his leader brother, which likely solidified a place in leadership. Kim Han-sol, not Han Solo, but equally a bit spaced out, on March 8th this year, he was caught on video criticizing the way his father was murdered at the Malaysian airport. He was living in the Chinese territory of Macau when, on November 1st, the Chinese arrested several members of an assassination squad sent after him. Sounds like the only nephew of Kim Jong-un is seen as a threat to the throne, as was his brother. Kim Jong-un also has 3 sisters, including 2 he barely knows, and his youngest sister, Kim Yo-jong, with whom he shared a mother. He's adored his younger sister since they were small children, and October 8th of this year, Kim Jong-un promoted her to a position in the propaganda division, and she's often seen next to her brother on field guidance trips. She's thought to have been responsible for his public image, which he has been carefully crafting to mimic his grandfather, who's wildly popular still in North Korea, and even encouraging him to get plastic surgery and gain weight to look more like Kim Il-sung.